Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Day 2 of our 31 Days of Horror for October, and today we're going to talk about The Lost Boys, which came out in 1987. This, when I was a kid, was an iconic vampire movie. We all loved it, and it was really cool because it was scary, but it was also tongue-in-cheek. It was a lot of fun, and what a great ensemble cast in this movie. Directed by the great Joel Schumacher. This movie had Jason Patric, the Coreys at the time, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Alex Winter, Kiefer Sutherland. Just an amazing cast. And the cool thing about this movie was it really was a smart horror movie for the time, right? It didn't take itself too seriously, but it was serious enough that it was still a pretty scary vampire movie, right? And when you think about that, it's a really delicate balance to have something that's a horror comedy, and I think this is one of those early movies that did a great job of that. Something like you'd see later on in like a Scream, which Scream probably did it a little bit better as from a horror standpoint. But to have a movie that was scary and funny and timely and cool, right? Like that was kind of the thing with Lost Boys. It kind of hit on all of those key things, and it just does an amazing job. I think, the acting in the movie is good. The kids are believable. The dialogue is even believable at the time for the kids, right? A lot of times you have a lot of stilted dialogue when you have adults trying to write hip dialogue. No, I think this is just well done. Again, filmed beautifully. It stays to the vampire tropes, but again, adds a ton of new stuff to it. Tons of great iconic quotes and lines in this movie. But when I always talk about this, I always want to talk about the best scares and why you should watch the movie. And to me, there's one scene that always stands out, and it's both funny and scary. And again, try not to give spoilers, but I think this is a really cool, funny, scary scene in the movie. And it's when Sam sees his brother, and and his brother's trying to get in the house, right? And his brother's literally floating outside of his window, which anytime there's something like that, it always freaks me out. There was a scene in Amityville Horror when I was little from the 70s where you had the eyes right outside the window, and it just freaked me out. Anytime you have something that's not supposed to happen, that's kind of that supernatural, I think it's always a really good, effective scare. But in this scene, the tension is broken by Sam asking him, hey, if you're not a vampire, what are you, the flying nun? Why are you outside of my window? So I think this is just a great movie. I think if you watch it, it's a time capsule to the late 80s. I think, again, a great ensemble cast, some of the best cast from a horror movie that I've seen in a long time. Just incredibly well done, lots of fun, very irreverent. So again, check this one out for Halloween. I think you'll enjoy it a ton. A nice, easy watch, a great horror/comedy with more leanings towards horror. So we hope you like it. Check it out. Stay scary. And coming up next, we're going to have Near Dark, our next vampire movie.